And of course, I was thinking, should or should I not say what happened to my boss? Hey, what is up guys? Welcome once again to the channel. It's always great to have you back. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, because here we talk about chemical and process engineering, either if you focus in your student life or if you're into graduate life, maybe even professional life as well. We talk about companies, we talk about courses, we talk about industry, we talk about technology, a lot of things that are very relevant for young and not so young chemical engineers. So in this video, what I want to do is to share you one story, actually one HSE story, technically more into the safety issue story. And it is when I got fined with 100 euros because I was doing some nasty things that are not allowed in the factory. But before we continue, I want to share you a little bit more on the background. So I was back then in 2012, I was an intern working for the petrochemical industry. Actually, it was near Cologne, Germany. It is called Ineos Koln or Ineos in Dormagen, which is a city between Düsseldorf and Cologne. And I really love being there. It is a very huge petrochemical complex, or maybe not so petrochemical, overall chemical complex. Hence the name ChemPark, which I think is like Disneyland for chemical engineers. Germany has a lot of those type of ChemParks. A lot of companies get together and share these parks and they interact between each other and so. But the main idea is that I was an intern. I was doing some process design. Actually, one of my best internships there, because I learned a lot on the petrochemical industry, oil and gas industry overall, but more importantly into the design or process design part with software, which is also great. And of course, a lot of German. Interacting with Germans in their language is kinda, I don't know, challenging, very challenging to be honest. And I was having a blast. Actually, I was very happy because it was almost summer. I was able to go in bicycle. No, actually I went from Cologne, so I took the train from Cologne to Dormagen, which was about 25 minutes or so. And then when I arrived to Dormagen, or to the ChemPark, I took my bicycle and go from the station to the office, which was also maybe 7 minutes, 8 minutes. And I really enjoyed that ride because it was, I don't know, Germans have something epic on combining like green scenery, a lot of trees and so, with the industrial aspect, which was a lot of piping, a lot of buildings. You can see the exchangers, you can see reactors, containers and all that. And the typical thing that I will do is, of course, go from the station to the office and to the office to the station. There was no problem. It was a very straightforward thing to do. It was very normal to do actually. Either you have your car and go directly to the office, or many will take the bike and cycle all the way to the office. Now going directly to the story, I remember having a friend coming from Mexico and he was going to be on Cologne, and he told me that he will be 4:30 sharp. So I asked for permission because I remember I was working until 4 p.m. and the train that left the earliest will be like 4:05. So you need to go maybe 5 minutes before, so you arrive at 4:02 to the station and ensure that you can get the train and go to Cologne. And as you can see guys, I was in a hurry. So I did the most obvious thing for a young engineer that does not know the rules of riding a bicycle in a factory, and I went very fast. Actually, I'm not quite sure the velocity. The average accepted velocity was 5 to 10 kilometers per hour, which is around 7 miles per hour. And I was for sure between 15 and 20 kilometers per hour. So that was my very first thing, which was not correct. But that may be okay, right? You're cycling inside a factory, the cars must always stop between, I don't know, people walking and people going on cycles. The second thing, and yes guys, I know maybe that was not enough to get fined. The second thing was that my friend was sending me messages because he was already there and he was impatient, he didn't know the language, so he was kind of scary. So what I did was the most obvious thing if you're young and the least obvious thing if you already know the rules, which was to take out my phone and start texting as if nothing was happening, as if I wasn't in a chemical park. I was just texting without problems. Of course, I was always like checking the road, but to be honest guys, there's not so much activity, which doesn't mean, of course, which that's okay. And as you can imagine, the third thing comes here. I was very desperate to be chatting with one single hand, so the most obvious thing was, let me start texting with two hands. So back then I was very proud of myself that I didn't require one hand or two hands in the handlebar of the bike. I was like always texting or having a drink, maybe food, or maybe even worse, I will be like Titanic and the wind and all that. So that was the third thing I was doing, which is not having a grab with two hands on the handlebar. And everything went smoothly until one security guard saw me and of course stopped me. He was very angry and started talking with me in German, which of course was not a problem, but I still remember the angry face he was doing, like if I was literally like destroying something. And I know that in Germany they take very seriously all the things on security and environment. So when they see this random guy going very fast in the bike without the hands in the handlebars and texting, something was definitely off. So this guy starts taking all my data. Of course, I was not going to lie there. Actually, I had my card, so it was kind of impossible to lie. So either you are there with permission or you are not there. So I think it's even worse. But I was there with my card, permission, and all that. And the guard just told me about the fine, that I got fined because A, B, and C, the things I told you, going very fast on the bike, exceeding the limit, not having the hands on the handlebars, and texting. So I remember just saying, so should I pay right here or how does it work? And he told me, no, you're not going to get that easily. You're going to get a report to your supervisor and they will know what to do. Of course, you're going to pay a fine. He told me it was 40 euros per fine, so it was something between 100, 120 euros, which I was more willingly to pay there and avoid the problem. And yeah, that was it. I went to home. And of course, I was thinking, should or should I not say what happened to my boss? So of course I have this little thing happening on me of it was a shame event, I don't want them to know, and let's hope for the better, maybe the fine never goes there. Or should I just say it, inform them what happened and accept responsibility? So what do you think I did, guys? A or B? So I said A, let's assume nothing happened, hopefully the fines will not get to my boss and I will be a triumphant of rule breaking. And that's what actually happened, guys. I didn't have any problems. No, just joking, guys. I was very nervous and actually, I don't know if you are like me, but I was always feeling like if I did something wrong, I need to accept it and take responsibility. So I went to the office and explained to my boss what happened. I told him about the infractions and what I was doing there. And of course, I was a little bit shameful and all this. And he was, of course, not so happy. And I can imagine that maybe the superior of my boss will say, why are you like hiring this type of people which do not respect rules? And of course it's kind of like awful, but he was very understanding and told me, okay, it's fine, you're young, you didn't know, you're not going to do that, and of course you need to pay your fine with your money, which I was more than willing. And that's what happened, guys. By the end of the month I got my check and the fine was already deducted from my check. And I learned by the hard way that speeding is not nice. You should always have two hands in the handbrake and don't text while you ride. So that's my story, shameful story, but I learned a lot, and since then I actually took personally to follow all the guidelines and order, and it really helped me a lot to understand that there's a lot of security issues and they do it for the security of everyone. We sometimes try to ignore, or I don't know, maybe you think something is silly, but typically it's there because either something already happened or it's going to happen if we keep doing it. And it helped me also to go back in Mexico, and of course I knew a lot of security issues, so when I got my interview I stated all the things I knew about the environment, about safety, and of course process design, and all that helped me a lot. But personally, my relationship with safety issues was much better. I did it for myself and for the company and for the sake of others being safe. And that's it, guys. That's my story on how I got fined for 100 euros. Please let us know if you have some story that you may want to share and that other young engineers or not so young engineers may know about and may want to avoid. Or maybe you want just to let me know that I am a reckless idiot. That will be fine as well. I know that this is not normal issue to be playing around. Safety is always first. I hope you learn one or two things maybe that may help you in your professional career. Because guys, if you don't take care of your colleagues, who else will?